Hello and welcome to another video of Candy Crafts. Today I'm going to be putting together a crochet bear that I made. At this point I have made, this is my third Amigurumi stuffed Amigurumi project. This is what the pattern, let me see if I can make this look better. This is what the pattern kind of looks like in the finished part. This, by the way, this is the book I use. It's called The Cute Critters by Sarah Zimmerman, and it has like 26 cute patterns, and they're like all the letters of the alphabet, A to Z, as you can see right here. And it's really how great that shot is. It's a really good good book. It has great patterns, and it shows you in the beginning how to generally do the stitches and follow along. So that's yeah, I like this book a lot. Anyway, I'm making the bear, and I actually changed the color. I'm making a black bear, not a brown bear. So that's why I have a whole bunch of black pieces. But that's what I'm making today, and I already crocheted all the parts. I'm just gonna put together these two things are the hands. This is the head. These two things are feet. This is the body. This is the snout, so it's called the pattern. It's the nose. And then these two things and these two things all put together make the ears. They're kind of like a two-part thing, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going to start by stuffing these. I'm not going to stuff the ears because they're just going to be flat. And I'm not going to stuff the snout yet because I stuff that as I sew it on. Because if I stuff this, it's just all going to fall out like a bowl. If I stuff it, it's going to fall out. So I'm just going to stuff it as I sew it on. Yeah, so I bought this bag of stuffing. It is, let me check, a 12-ounce bag. Let's see. It's a 12-ounce bag, and it's pretty big. And I like it because, I mean, it stuffs it really good. It's pretty full, and I've used it for two different things so far, and I still have more than half left, which is cool. Anyway, I'm gonna stuff that now. The bear. I'm gonna start with the body, and stuffing it is can get kind of tricky depending on how big the hole is. Also, one thing you should do, well, you could just stuff it as you make the different parts. I actually don't have a preference on when I stuff it, but that's what I do. I'm stuffing it all right now just to show you guys. So I'm picking a piece, I'm just shoving it in there. I'll show you again when I did. Then I'm just gonna cut to the finished product. So I just take this and I use my fingers to just shove it into the hole. And it's not like easy to like put holes in. It's like pretty tight. It's pretty it's solid enough that I can just easily do this. So yeah, I'm going to turn. Right, I've finished stuffing it, and you can stuff it however full you want it. The more you stuff it, the harder it's gonna be. Right now, I can kind of squeeze it, and it's just what I kind of want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the head next. And yeah, this head has a smaller hole, which can get harder. Sometimes you have to start stuffing it before you do the last row so that you can actually get the stuffing in. But in this case, I think it won't be a problem because actually it's bigger than a hole I had last time. So yeah, and then again, it's just same method. You might have to work with smaller pieces if it's a smaller hole because you stuff less than at a time. But yeah, same deal. Okay, I finished the head, and I'm just gonna stuff the feet next. And so these ones have a lot bigger holes And it's gonna be a lot easier. And at this point, you want to make sure that it's not too stuffed full, because when you're tying it, when you're sewing it on right here, there, if it's like pulling out, you have to like kind of be pushing the. If it's overflowing, then you have to like make sure that you can actually sew it together without having fluff go out everywhere, which is an important part. And so yeah, that's just an important thing to remember. Okay, so I finished stuffing the feet, and again, you can stuff them however much you want. And as you're sewing them in, I think I'm actually gonna stuff this one a little bit more. You can stuff it more and less as you sew it, like pull it out, push it back in, because these ones are all very much more open. You can pull out of these ones too, even though they have a smaller hole, so just a little bit harder. But you can like add more. You can put them in. I actually usually keep adding more until I like finish sewing them together. I don't know why. Like it just needs to be even, and I keep changing it. Anyway, so I'm going to do the arms next. Yeah, these are a little bit uneven because I used a different hook size on one of them, and so, but that's fine. Like different hook sizes actually change how big what you make is, which is a helpful thing to remember. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna stuff these ones, and these also have like holes. And actually, for arms, I like to leave about like the top half inch to an inch like empty, because that way they don't like pop out like that. They kind of actually lay on the body like that instead of going like that. So yeah, I leave about like the top half to an inch empty, so it's like lays flat instead of just popping up. So I'll show you that when I actually have them full. Okay, so on the pattern, it has this line going from the top of the nose down to like, I don't know how far down that is, and it's the color of the most part of the bear. So I'm going to use black. I have this handy dandy thread. I'm going to not use as much. I'm just going to cut it like that. Then I'm going to tie a knot on one end, because this is the kind of thing that I want to tie a knot into. So we have that. There it goes, and then I'm going to thread it onto the needle. Sometimes this can be tricky. Do not be discouraged if you have trouble. And for everyone who is not having trouble, good job. So I'm gonna actually push it in a little above, a little like slightly as so. I'm going to sew it, and I'm gonna make it so it comes right from the tip, from the bottom of the nose. This is not quite the bottom. It's not quite even. Right there, I think it's good, and I'm going to pull it in until it hits the knot on the bottom, and then I'm just going to push it down to here, and it has this thing. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. No one's perfect, not even cute little bears. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna tie a knot as close to the bottom as I can get it, and then I'm just gonna leave it in there, because this black yarn is gonna get covered by the fluff. And don't be too worried if you don't have, if you have lots of long threads. Actually, I'm gonna cut this off because I have this other project that I save these threads for, which I think is pretty cool. Check out my other video for that. It's called my very late Christmas project. Christmas craft, I believe, actually. Anyway, so this is the nose, and then I'm going to take it onto the head. And, ooh, that is interesting. You can kind of see how it's going to look. It's very cute, I think. Or maybe kind of creepy. We're going to find out. I'm going to thread this long thread on, and then I'm going to start sewing, and then after I start sewing, I'm going to start stuffing so that it has a place to go. This can sometimes become tricky, finding the right balance of whatever. Also, as you are sewing it on, make sure that you are not sewing it on too high or too low, because this is actually pretty close to the bottom of like the hole right here. which is where I'm going to sew on the head to the body. So start with this, and then right there. Okay, so I've sewed it on about halfway, and I'm going to start stuffing it, and I might have to call for help and get more thread before I end it, but we can cross that bridge if it comes to it. Cross our fingers it will not, but it probably will. I'm just going to stuff it in there. And this is the same deal as all the other ones. You stuff it as much as you want. I don't think this is as a big deal, but like the more you stuff it's the harder it is to sew it on. It's not too hard though. The hardest part is making sure that it doesn't poke out a little bit. I'm just gonna keep sewing, and then you can continue stuffing as you sew. That way, it makes it easier to see how much you actually want in there, because you can also pull out as you sew. And it's going to poke out as you go along. So just make sure you keep pushing it in. And I think will have to put a new piece of yarn in. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna actually poke it through right here, pull it up so that it doesn't stick out too much. I'm just gonna grab this thread right here. This is why it's important to make sure you get a long thread and you don't cut it too short, because the long thread, long tail I tell you to leave off in the patterns is actually very important. So just thread the needle, and I'm going to tie a knot on the other end so it stays. And since this is not the same color as the nose, it might be kind of obvious. It might not be, because it is also the color of the body, so it won't be too obvious. Hopefully. I'm just gonna push it in a little before I ended the other one so that I can make sure it's secure. Then I stick it into the same stitch. It's actually not too obvious, so I'm just gonna finish strong. And this is how it looks. It's a little bit crooked, but that's okay, because again, no one's perfect, and it's gonna look a little bit different. Also, I don't have a whole lot of practice, so for my first attempt at a bear, and only third attempt at an amigurumi figurine, this is pretty good. I'm just gonna thread it through the head up here so that I have a long tail if it ever pulls out and needs me to fix an issue. And then we'll pull it out, and now I'm going to do the ears. So for the ears, how I believe the pattern foresees me doing it is flattening them out to sew on, and then adding this and kind of, oh, can you see it? So I have this kind of cone bowl thing, and then I flatten it, and I kind of fold it in a little bit, and then I stick this in the middle, so it's really cute and pretty and everything. Yeah, so actually these ones are they're so small that I had a tail coming out from like the beginning, which I'm just gonna cut that off real fast so that's not any issue. There's the other one right here. Right there. And yeah. Actually, I'm gonna start, well, let me see. is what it's gonna look like with the little thing. Yeah, I'm gonna start by sewing the inner ear on to the ear. That's what's called in pattern, the inner ear. It's funny, not funny, funny, not funny, haha, funny, interesting way to put it. And I'm just gonna actually sew it on like that. Okay, so I have the on, and I'm kind of gonna sew it right here. I already sewed the first one on, so it's gonna be actually. You want to decide where you put it before, because otherwise it's gonna be, it's not gonna work when you first sew it on. But it's important to have a vision so you can see where your vision is gonna take you. Right, and then you just sew it on like normal. Hands right there, sorry. Okay, so I've put the ear on, just like that. And I'm just gonna slip it, put it through the back of the head. This is how I avoid tying knots, actually. Like I say, it's a good planning ahead. It's mostly just so I don't tie knots. I hate tying knots when, it just kind of is really ugly in a way that doesn't really make sense, but it is. Anyway, I'm gonna get right back when I finish sewing the other ear on. Okay, I finished the print of the head, and this is what it looks like so far. Yeah, good. This is my least favorite part, putting the head onto the body. But there's that. Yeah. Ooh. Anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna sew it together. This is what it looks like right now. Head off, and I'm just gonna turn the camera back on when I finish. It's basically the same deal as doing the arms and the legs, in case you're wondering. It's just two big things instead of just a big thing and a little thing. It's a little complicated, but it's basically the same. Okay, this is the final product. I have a lot. Actually, I have a lot of loose threads. I'm just gonna cut this off real fast. There's one right there. Oh, that's not actually loose. One at the neck. I'm just gonna go. One right there. One on the back of the head. Right there. There's one on the back of the back. And I think that's it. Yeah, no more. That's it. This is the final product. Can you tell what it is? That is the main important thing. If you know what it is, that's the best thing. Okay. Anyway, this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down below if you have any questions. I'm gonna put the title of the book and the author in the description. So if you want to look at that, it's right there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.